What if a country's greatest natural resource isn't gold or oil or anything you can dig out of the ground, but its own people? Well, that's the massive bet India is making right now with one of the most ambitious education overhauls you'll find anywhere on the planet. So let's break down exactly how they plan to turn their entire education system into the engine for their future.
It's a huge question, right? One that countries have been trying to answer for centuries. Is it all about having the biggest army, the strongest economy, the most advanced tech? Well, the sources we're diving into today suggest the real answer is something much more fundamental.
And there it is. The whole strategy really boils down to this one powerful idea. A nation's true strength isn't built on concrete and steel, but on the skills, the knowledge, and the potential of its citizens. That's what we mean when we talk about human capital.
And that's where the human capital mission comes in. But look, this isn't just some social policy initiative. We're talking about a core economic strategy. The goal is pretty straightforward, but incredibly ambitious. Create a workforce so capable, so skilled, that it can literally propel India into the ranks of the world's developed nations.
Now, to really get a sense of the scale of this challenge, you have to look at a key metric called expected years of schooling, or EYS. This isn't just about reading and writing, it's the average time a child is predicted to spend in school. And you can see right here, India's 13 years, well, it lags pretty significantly behind peers like China and especially a developed nation like Germany. Closing this gap, that's priority number one.
And here's the target. The National Education Policy, or NEP, has put a number on the board. They want to raise that expected years of schooling to 15. This isn't just a small tweak, it's a massive structural shift. The whole idea is to bring India's human capital up to par with the world's leading economies. So the big question is, how are they going to do it?
To even have a shot at hitting that 15-year goal, you've got to start at the very beginning, at the foundation. And that means reimagining school itself. This is where the whole mission is either going to succeed or fail. And the main challenge here, it might actually surprise you.
This really gets to the heart of the problem. India has been incredibly successful at getting kids into the school system. You have near universal enrollment in the early grades, which is amazing. The real issue is keeping them there. The system is like a leaky pipeline. The further you go, the more students you lose along the way.
And here's that leak in black and white. In the early grades, enrollment is a super healthy 95%. It stays strong at around 90% through middle school. But then, look what happens when students hit the secondary stage. It just plummets to 68.5%. Think about that. Nearly a third of all students have just vanished from the system. That's the leak they have to plug.
So how do you fix a leak that big? Well, one of the key solutions is technology. It's called the APARID. The easiest way to think about it is like a unique digital passport for every single student. This automated permanent academic account registry tracks a student's progress from day one, which makes it way easier to spot who's at risk of dropping out and then step in with support before they're lost for good.
Okay, so plugging the leaks in schools is just step one. After that, the strategy moves up to the next level, higher education. Here, the focus isn't just on retention, it's about flexibility. The goal is to completely break away from that old, rigid, one-size-fits-all model of college.
And at the heart of this whole new approach is something called the Academic Bank of Credits. And honestly, this is a total game changer. The idea is so simple but so powerful. Every course you complete earns you credits, and those credits go into your own digital account. You can then transfer them between different universities, or even take a break from your education and come back later without losing all your progress. It's all about creating real flexibility and giving students ownership over their own learning journey.
Now, to make all of this actually work, you have to fix the plumbing. The entire regulatory system is getting an overhaul. The old system was this complicated maze of different overlapping bodies. The new proposed system, under the Viksit Bharat Shiksha Ajasthan bill, brings it all under a single unified regulator. The whole philosophy is to move away from a heavy compliance burden to what the survey calls a light but tight, technology-driven framework.
All right, now for what might be the most crucial piece of this entire puzzle. Because, let's be real, all these incredible reforms in schools and colleges don't mean much if they don't connect to the real world, to jobs, and to actual skills. This is the School to Skill Challenge.
Let's circle back to that leaky pipeline for a second. The numbers here are just staggering. Nearly 2 crore adolescents, that's 20 million, between the ages of 14 and 18 are not in school. To solve a problem that big, you first have to understand why. Why are they leaving in the first place?
And this chart, it gives you the stark, very human answer.
For almost half of them, it's about pure economics. They have to work to help support their families. For another huge chunk, especially girls, it's to help with chores at home. For these families, education starts to feel like a luxury they just can't afford.
And that feeling points to a fundamental disconnect, because the system isn't providing a clear path to a better income. The proof? It's right here in this number. It's just wow. A staggering 92% of adolescents say they have had zero formal job-related skill training. So for them, what's being taught in school just doesn't seem relevant to actually getting a job.
So the national education policy is designed to tackle this problem head-on. The strategy is to weave vocational education right into the school curriculum starting from an early age. It's all about making what you learn in the classroom directly relevant to the job market and creating very clear, very visible pathways that lead from a school desk straight to a career.
And this quote just brings everything full circle, doesn't it? It connects what happens in a classroom in India to the global economy. The ultimate endgame of this whole human capital mission is to make India's workforce so skilled, so innovative, that the world comes to rely on its output, buying made in India without a second thought.
So, the blueprint is there, the ambition is crystal clear, and the stakes, well, they couldn't be higher. This whole thing is a massive bet on India's people, and the big question that remains is whether this grand experiment will finally be the key that unlocks India's full potential on the world stage.